Good morning, everyone. I'm Robin Francis along with Mike Hutchins. We're talking a little football, getting ready for round 3 of the high school football playoffs coming up for you tonight, 7 o'clock, the kickoffs. North of the border in Class 2A, Mike, we have Murray at Caldwell County. Caldwell County team, the only blemish they have is to Mayfield.
Lost to Mayfield in a regular season, number 1 ranked in the Class 2A in the state of Kentucky all season long. They'll get a test tonight from Keith Hodge, our old buddy, former Dresden coach, who I think has done a great job in his first season at Murray. Went on the road and won last week. They're going to be physical and run the football, and I think this could be a close football game.
Yeah, Russellville and it will be at Mayfield in Class 1A. In Class 5A, Henry County going to Memphis. They're going to be playing the Roadrunners of Ridgeway, trying to avenge that earlier defeat in Paris.
One of 2 losses by Henry County during the regular season, and that's motivation if you need it. I don't think Henry County needs it, Robin. Gunning for their 3rd state championship in 4 years. Got a lot of the intangibles. They got a lot of the variables in the equation that you need to be successful this time of the year. The 3-headed monster running the football with Jeremiah Godbod, with Chase Henderson and Rotario Perkins. They've been able to throw the football when they've had to, and played great defense. A couple of safeties last week against Millington in a 26-16 win. They'll face a good team tonight in Ridgeway. Deron Sutton, our old buddy who coached at Memphis Kingsbury back 10, 12 years ago, and we saw them in the playoffs against Obion Central. This is not a Memphis team that just hodgepodges or throws a bunch of athletes out there and hopes to do well. They got schematically, they've got sound and solid things that they do on both sides of the football, and I expect this one to go down to the wire.
Class 4A, you have Tresvant at Crockett County. 3A, Hickman County at Milan. And 2A, one of the best games that we'll see in quite a while is Peabody will be at McKenzie.
Yeah, it's a Peabody team coming off that win over Trinity Christian Academy last week, Robin, who was ranked number 1 in the state in Class 2A, I guess the last 6 weeks of the season. Kendrick Malone, we talk about his throwing a lot. He ran for over 300 yards last week in that win over TCA, Robin. He's so versatile, so elusive in the open field. When you can get him on the flanks and you get him on the edges, he's certainly big play capable. And I think it's a Peabody team that's playing with a lot of confidence now. Ricky Woods told us back during the regular season that they wouldn't see anybody as good as Union City the rest of the way. I think that was great competition and great very much prepared Peabody to get deep into this postseason. I think it's a situation where they've got a lot of momentum going into tonight's game. Against the McKenzie team, they beat 56-21 back in week 0. Certainly the Rebels are much improved since then with Jack Serber at quarterbacks. Led them on a comeback last week, down 11 twice in the second half. Win 33-30 against a Memphis entry, George Washington Carver, and certainly they're playing with a great deal of confidence, having won 8 of their last 9.
And also, your Mount Pleasant will be at Adamsville on the other side of that bracket. In Class 1A, Coalfield at Greenback, Copper Basin at Monterey, Nashville Christian at Columbia Academy. Game of the night, they're both undefeated.
Both undefeated. In fact, this side of the bracket, Robin, has 3 of 4 teams that are undefeated, and the number is 1, 2, and 3 ranked team in the state, according to the last Associated Press Prep poll. Nashville Christian, we've talked about them all year long. Alex Givens, their big tackles, committed to Ole Miss. Daniel Batuli really hadn't gotten a lot of work during the regular season. Their big running back, you look for him to get plenty of touches tonight against Columbia Academy.
Lake County, the upstart in this side of the bracket, they're 8-4, coming to Union City, number 1 team in the state. They're 11-0. The Tornadoes already dispatched with the Falcons earlier this year, 63-6 at War Memorial Stadium. Not really expecting much of the same, but it could be.
Oh, I think anytime you got Stavansky Wilkes on the other side, Robin, he's all rushed for almost 2,600 yards this season for Lake County, almost 500 yards in the 2 playoff games with 8 touchdowns. He's also scored via kick return, punt return, interception. He's the real deal for Lake County. He had 118 yards in just 8 carries the first time around, that 62-6 game that you mentioned. But it's a Union City team, I think, that is focused. They're primed and ready. I don't think there's a chance of them looking ahead. I don't think there's a chance of them allowing Lake County to play the revenge card or the payback card. I just think it's a very good football team. It's very focused. We saw last week them score on all 7 offensive possessions against a Dresden team that I thought had improved a lot since early in the season when they played the first time. Javante Moffitt, I thought, had the run of the year last week. Broke one Dresden defender's ankles in the open field and then ran over another on his way to a 34-yard touchdown. Ricky Henry over 100 yards for the 8th time this season, Mr. Football Back of the Year finalist. And Alex Reed, who oftentimes gets lost in the shuffle, Rod, he had 3 touchdown runs last week. I think it's a Union City team that's played its best football, and I think they're focused to move on to next week's semifinals.
Mike and I on this evening on WENK with Countdown to Kickoff from Hops and Barley at 5 o'clock. Join us.